It all started with the ones who live by the dark. The night shift workers, the insomniacs, the people awake when the world feels thin and quiet. They were the first to hear "Eat Us Off," persistent hum in the distance. It was a sound you couldn't quite place, but one you definitely couldn't ignore. At first, everyone brushed it off. It must be a generator, a factory humming in the distance, or maybe just tinnitus playing tricks on tired ears. It was easy to dismiss, until someone had the wild idea to point a microphone at the night sky. The recording they captured sent a shiver down the spine of the scientific community. It was undeniable. A layered, harmonic resonance was coming from the direction of the moon. But this wasn't random space noise. It was a melody, slow, mournful, and with a strange, haunting beauty. It repeated in perfect cycles, almost like a lullaby sung by an ancient, lonely voice. Soon, amateur radio operators all over the globe confirmed it. They all picked up the exact same frequency from every corner of the Earth. No interference, no atmospheric distortion, no variation. It was a single voice, from a single source. Then, the barrier between technology and biology began to dissolve. People started hearing the sound without any equipment. For some, it only happened during a full moon. For others, it was completely unpredictable. A phantom hum that would arrive and depart without warning. Those who experienced it for the longest periods all described the same overwhelming feeling. A profound sadness, a sense of longing so intense it would bring them to tears without knowing why. They felt a deep, cosmic homesickness for a place they'd never known. Soon, the phenomena grew stranger. A few people began sleepwalking. They'd wake up in the dead of night, standing in their yards or on their balconies, just staring up at the moon. Their loved ones would find them there, mouths moving, silently shaping words they couldn't remember learning when they woke up. The symptoms then escalated. People started having hallucinations of vast, silver landscapes under a black sky. They saw visions of luminous, graceful figures drifting across the lunar horizon. There was a powerful, inescapable feeling of being summoned, of being called home. Medical professionals were baffled. They ran every test imaginable, but couldn't find a single thing physically wrong with these individuals. Every affected person was in perfect health. The only anomaly they found was in their brainwaves. While they slept, their brains produced slow, rhythmic bursts of activity, a pattern that perfectly matched the strange, melancholic melody coming from the moon. It was as if their very minds were trying to harmonize with the signal. A dedicated team of linguists, astrophysicists, and cryptographers worked around the clock, trying to decipher the cosmic tune. After months of painstaking work, they made a breakthrough. The signal wasn't music in the way we understand it. It was structure. It was pure information, mathematical, deliberate, and complex, almost like a language. And the most chilling discovery was its origin. It wasn't being broadcast from a satellite orbiting the moon, or from a transmitter on its surface. It was coming from Asterisk. Within Asterisk, it echoing through its rocky crust like a song trapped inside stone for millennia. The International Consortium of Scientists made a fateful decision. They had to respond. Using the Arecibo Observatory, they synthesized a reply based on the mathematical structures they had decoded as simple greeting, a digital hello sent out into the void. The moment their signal reached the moon, everything stopped. The humming ceased, worldwide, in a single, coordinated instant. A profound silence fell over the planet. For a moment, people felt an immense sense of relief. The constant, nagging hum in the background of their lives was gone, but that relief was quickly replaced by a strange, heavy disappointment. An emptiness. It felt as if something precious, something wondrous, had been stolen from them. The silence lasted for 3 nights. 3 nights of people nervously glancing up at a quiet, familiar moon. On the 3rd night, something changed. The moon began to brighten. It started glowing with a pale, ethereal intensity that no scientific instrument could explain. It wasn't just reflecting the sun. It was emitting its own light. And then, the sound returned. But this time it was different. This time, everyone heard it. Not through their ears, but directly inside their minds. A clear, intimate whisper that bypassed all physical senses. And this time, it wasn't a song. It wasn't a lonely lullaby, it was an answer. And it said, "We hear you. We are awake, and we are coming." We all know about the dark side of the moon, right? That hemisphere that's always turned away from Earth. A place of mystery and shadow. But what if I told you there's something else? Something even more unsettling. A region that radio operators stumbled upon. A place beyond even the far side. They called it the black side. It wasn't a place where signals bounced back strangely or faded over distance. It was a place where signals vanished completely, like they were never sent at all. Every frequency, every wavelength, just gone. It was a perfect, absolute silence. At first, scientists dismissed it as a simple equipment malfunction, a glitch in the system. But then, independent researchers from all over the world confirmed the anomaly. One by one, their results were the same. The black side wasn't just absorbing radio waves like rock or dust would. It was consuming them. It behaved like a vacuum, but one with a terrifying sense of purpose. The scientific community was baffled and, honestly, a little scared. What could possibly create a dead zone so complete? The logical next step was to send probes, unmanned explorers designed to get a closer look, to send back data, any data that could explain this phenomenon. The first probe launched, a marvel of modern engineering, and began its journey towards the lunar mystery. It transmitted telemetry perfectly all the way across the void. Then, as it approached the coordinates of the black side, its signal abruptly cut out. Mid-transmission, it was there 1 second, and gone the next, as if it had crossed an invisible, inescapable boundary. They sent another. The same thing happened, and another, and another. Each one met the same fate, vanishing without a trace, leaving behind nothing but a chilling, sudden silence. It was like throwing stones into a bottomless well and never hearing them land. The project was becoming a massive drain on resources, with zero return. The world's space agencies were on the verge of declaring the region a total loss, an unsolvable riddle of the cosmos. But then, something impossible happened. From the last probe, the one that should have gone silent, just like all the others, a single packet of data managed to break through. Just one frame of an image, corrupted and fragmented, but it was enough. Technicians worked for weeks to reconstruct it, and when they finally did, what they saw sent a wave of dread through everyone who laid eyes on it. The image didn't show the familiar gray, pockmarked surface of the moon. It showed a patch of something else entirely. It was glossy and possibly smooth, and curved in a way that felt unnatural, organic. It looked almost like the hide of some colossal, living creature. And its color, it was a blackness unlike anything they had ever seen. It didn't reflect any sunlight. It didn't absorb it. It emitted no heat, no radiation. It was simply void. A darkness that had substance. A piece of pure nothingness, given physical form. That single, terrifying photograph was classified almost immediately, but it was too late. It had already leaked, and with it, a new kind of fear began to spread. Those who saw the image reported having nightmares, shared nightmares. They dreamed of a monstrous shape curled up just beneath the moon's crust. A creature so vast it stretched across entire craters. A hibernating leviathan. They dreamed of a presence older than Earth, older than the sun, that had been hiding behind a mask of silence for eons. In these dreams, they felt its slow awakening. A tremor that wasn't physical but psychic. A ripple of consciousness that ran through the very bedrock of the moon like a pulse returning to a body after centuries of stillness. The dreamers would wake up in a cold sweat, with the distinct feeling that they were being watched from above. The world tried to dismiss it as mass hysteria, a psychological side effect of a creepy photo. But then the instruments started to agree. Seismographs planted on the lunar surface during the Apollo missions, long dormant, began transmitting again, and they were detecting something. Small, rhythmic vibrations coming from deep within the moon. These weren't the random tremors of geological activity. They were patterned, repeating, organized. Some whispered it was a heartbeat, a slow, steady, planetary heartbeat. Others, the more pessimistic ones, called it a countdown. Then came the night of the next full moon. Stargazers and astronomers, both amateur and professional, noticed something new. A thin, jagged line on the moon's edge. A fracture that hadn't been there the night before. It looked like a crack in an eggshell. Over the next few nights, the crack widened, and from it, something seemed to be leaking out. Not light, but darkness. A sliver of the same impossible black from the photo, spilling out into the sky, blotting out the stars behind it. It was as if something trapped inside was peeling its own shell away, preparing to break free. Whatever has been sleeping on the black side of the moon is stirring. The rhythmic tremors are getting stronger. The cracks are spreading across the lunar surface like veins. The silence that once defined it is being replaced by the groaning of a world about to break apart. We've spent our entire existence looking up at the moon, seeing it as a symbol of constancy, a silent guardian in the night sky. We were wrong. It wasn't a guardian, it was a prison, and the prisoner's waking up. If that celestial shell shatters, whatever emerges will not be content to remain in the shadows of space. It will be looking for a new world to cast its shadow upon, and it's been watching us for a very, very long time. While on the lunar surface, he saw something at the very edge of the landing site. Strange figures. He described them as small, pale, and human-like. But something about them was profoundly wrong in ways he couldn't articulate. It was dismissed as just another internet ghost story, or so people thought. But the story didn't die. In fact, it was only the beginning. Years passed, and then more accounts started to trickle in. This time, they weren't from phantom astronauts, but from amateur astronomers right here on Earth. People who spent their nights with their eyes glued to telescopes, mapping the craters and seas of the moon. They began spotting fleeting silhouettes along the rims of the darkest craters. They described them as thin, almost child-sized forms that would vanish the moment you tried to focus on them directly. It was like trying to catch smoke. Some of these astronomers used high-contrast digital processing on their footage, hoping to get a clearer view. What they found was even more disturbing. The processing made the figures clearer, but also more alien. Their limbs were unnaturally long and spindly, their heads perfectly smooth and hairless, and their eyes. Their eyes were said to be reflective, like polished glass, catching the faint starlight. But the most chilling detail, the one that tied all these separate sightings together, was that they always appeared in groups of 3. Always standing perfectly still, and always facing Earth. The online communities that tracked these sightings gave them a name, the Luna Children. As the name spread, so did the theories. The forums exploded with speculation. What were these things? Where did they come from? Some people believed they were the last remnants of an ancient lunar civilization, a species that had fled underground to survive some long-forgotten cataclysm. They were the survivors, peeking out at the universe from their subterranean home. Others proposed a more unnerving idea, that they weren't native to the moon at all. They were sentinels, placed there eons before humans even looked up at the sky. They were guardians, protecting something buried deep beneath the lunar dust, something we were never meant to find. Then there was the third, and perhaps most paranoid, theory. This one suggested they were observers, watching humanity for a specific purpose. They were waiting for some kind of signal, some trigger that we hadn't yet activated. This idea took on a particularly sinister tone. What would happen when we finally gave that signal? The story took an even darker turn from there. The people who became obsessed with finding the lunar children, the ones who spent every clear night searching for them, started reporting strange and unsettling experiences. It began with their dreams. They all described the same thing: a strange, cold landscape lit by a dim, alien sky. And in these dreams, the children were there. But they weren't far away on a crater rim anymore. They were close, standing right in front of them, silent, their unblinking glass eyes staring straight through them. The dreamers said they communicated, but not with words. It was a feeling, a thought, an understanding that bypassed language entirely, flooding their minds with cold, incomprehensible knowledge. When they woke up, the horror followed them. Many woke with sudden, severe nosebleeds. Others suffered from debilitating migraines and a persistent, high-pitched ringing in their ears that wouldn't go away. Some began reporting missing time gaps in their memory, hours or even days that they simply couldn't account for. And then, some of them vanished. Their online accounts went silent. Their contributions to the forums stopped te were hust gone. The community was terrified. Was this the cost of looking too closely? Were they being warned away, or were they being taken? The mystery deepened, turning from a fascinating anomaly into a genuine threat. Just when the fear was at its peak, the ultimate piece of evidence surfaced. A single, high-resolution photograph was leaked from what was claimed to be a classified government archive. The image was stunningly clear. It showed an Apollo astronaut standing proudly beside the lunar module, the American flag planted in the regolith. It was an iconic scene, but it was the background that made everyone's blood run cold. In the far distance, barely visible, but undeniably real, were three small figures. They were perched on the lip of a crater, their heads tilted upwards, almost as if they were posing for the camera. Their long limbs and smooth heads were unmistakable. It was them, the lunar children. No one knows who released the photo. It spread like wildfire across the internet, but within hours, it was gone, scrubbed from every server, every forum, every blog. Anyone who tried to re-upload it found their posts deleted and their accounts suspended. The official response was swift and absolute. Scientists who were asked about it called it a well-made but obvious fake. Government spokespeople dismissed it as a classic case of disinformation, designed to sow distrust and fear. But for the thousands who saw it, the image was burned into their minds. Was it all an elaborate hoax? A prank that got out of hand? Or was it a fleeting glimpse of a truth so terrifying that it had to be suppressed at all costs? We may never know for sure. The transcripts are gone. The original sightings are dismissed as tricks of light, and the photos has vanished into the digital ether. All we have are the stories, the whispers, and the chilling accounts of those who dared to look too long. But every night, the moon raises, a silent, silver sentinel in the dark sky. And on certain nights, when the shadows are long and the air is still, you might find yourself staring up at it. And if you look at those shadowed regions for long enough, you might just feel the same sensation that countless others have reported. That strange, uncanny certainty that something up there is staring back, patiently, silently, waiting for the moment it can finally step into the light. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. Sleep well. For all of human history, the moon was just the moon. A silent, familiar companion in our night sky. We wrote songs about it, sent our dreams to it, even walked upon its dusty surface. It was always there, unchanging, until it wasn't. It started subtly, with pictures appearing online. At first, everyone dismissed them. Blurry telescope shots. Obvious hoaxes manipulated by someone with too much time on their hands. But then, the images got clearer. the details sharpened with every new upload. A vast, shadowy depression began to take the shape of an eye. Then, another one formed right beside it. A long, arcing shadow stretched beneath them, looking unmistakably like a mouth. People joked about it online. "Hey, look, the moon is growing a face." The memes were everywhere. It was a fun little global mystery, but soon, nobody was laughing anymore. Professional astronomers rushed to calm the rising tide of public concern. They had plenty of explanations. It was just light distortion from Earth's atmosphere. It was data compression artifacts from digital telescopes. It was a classic case of pareidolia. Our brains seeing patterns where none exist. Plausible excuses, one after another, but the images kept coming. And they weren't from NASA or the European Space Agency. They were from amateur high school astronomy clubs, people with powerful telescopes in their backyards, all over the world. Different angles, different nights, different hemispheres, all showing the exact same thing. The face was real, and it was changing, not over geological time, but from one night to the next. The changes were noticeable, almost deliberate. The eyes, those two dark craters, seemed to follow Earth's rotation, shifting ever so slightly each night. It was as if something was adjusting its focus, trying to get the best possible view of us. The feeling was inescapable. We were being watched. Then came the 3:14 a.m. phenomenon. All around the globe, people started waking up at the exact same time, 3:14 in the morning, with an inexplicable, sudden urge to look out their window. And when they did, they all described the same chilling sensation, the feeling that the moon was staring directly at them. Personally, a few even claimed they saw the face smiling faintly, the mouth curling upwards in a way no natural crater formation ever could. Those who stared back for too long reported strange side effects, severe dizziness, splitting headaches, and vivid, terrifyingly realistic dreams. They dreamt of standing on a barren, gray plain, under a black sky, surrounded by enormous footprints that were definitely not human. Panic began to set in. Governments tried to clamp down on the flow of information. Public astronomical data was suddenly classified. Space agency live streams of the moon went dark without warning. Highly anticipated lunar probe missions were abruptly postponed, with vague excuses about technical difficulties. They were trying to hide it, but you can't hide the moon. The sky is open to everyone, and night after night, it didn't just asterisk. Look, asterisk. Closer it. Asterisk was asterisk closer. We could feel it. The tides swelled to unprecedented levels, swamping coastal cities. Animal populations behaved erratically, with herds and flocks migrating inland, away from the coasts, as if fleeing from something they could sense in the very water. Sensitive scientific instruments began picking up a bizarre signal coming from the direction of the moon, a low-frequency, rhythmic vibration. Scientists who analyzed it were baffled. They said the pattern resembled only one thing: a heartbeat. A slow, massive, cosmic heartbeat. The world held its breath. Every night, billions of eyes turned upward, filled with a mixture of terror and morbid fascination. What would it do next? Then, one night it happened. The expression on the face changed entirely. The eyes, once wide and passive, narrowed into thin slits. The mouth, once a neutral line, widened into a gaping maw. It was a look of immense, ancient hunger. And in that single moment-to-moment captured by anyone who happened to be looking up, millions of people felt an overwhelming, crushing certainty wash over them. A piece of knowledge that settled deep into their bones. The moon was not a dead rock. It was not our satellite. It was something alive. Something ancient. Something that had been watching us, patiently, from afar. And now, after eons of waiting, it was finally done. Did the Apollo program really end in 1972? That's the official story. Apollo 17 was supposed to be humanity's last triumphant visit to the lunar surface for decades. But what if that wasn't the end? What if the most astonishing mission of all was hidden from the world, buried under layers of secrecy and denial? This is the story of Apollo 20, the mission that officially never happened, and the chilling discovery that could rewrite everything we know about our place in the universe. The year is 1976. While the world believes the space race has cooled down, a secret mission is allegedly being prepared, a joint venture between the United States and the Soviet Union, two Cold War rivals united by a single, terrifying goal. Their target, an anomaly on the far side of the moon, a place permanently hidden from Earth's view. This wasn't just a strange rock formation. Images captured by Apollo 15 had revealed something impossible, a colossal, cigar-shaped object, nearly 2 miles long, resting in a crater. It was clearly artificial, a structure that had no right to be there, and it looked ancient. The mission, code-named Apollo 20, was launched in total secrecy in August 1976. Its crew, a mix of American astronauts and a Soviet, were tasked with the unthinkable: land near this alien object, explore it, and uncover its secrets. The risks were astronomical, but the potential rewards were even greater. They weren't just exploring a new part of the moon. They were investigating proof that we are not alone. As the crew descended towards the lunar surface, the sheer scale of the object became terrifyingly clear. It wasn't just a crashed ship. It was a relic of a forgotten age, a derelict vessel of unimaginable size and design. The hull wasn't rock. It was a metallic, scarred surface that showed signs of intelligent construction, but of a kind completely alien to human engineering. It had been there for an eternity, a silent testament to a civilization that rose and fell long before humanity ever looked up at the stars. The astronauts entered the craft. Inside, the silence was absolute. The airless void had preserved everything. The walls were covered in strange, hieroglyphic-like symbols, an unknown language etched into the metallic surfaces. The technology they saw was beyond comprehension: control panels and devices that operated on principles we have yet to discover. It was a ghost ship, a tomb floating in the silent darkness of space. And it was then, in a central chamber, that they made the discovery that would haunt them forever. They found a body, a humanoid figure, perfectly preserved. She wasn't human. Her features were elongated, her bone structure subtly different. She was attached to a series of tubes and wires, part of the ship's control systems, almost as if she were a component of the vessel itself. She was the pilot. The crew, in a moment of awe and reverence, nicknamed her Mona Lisa. She appeared to have been in a state of suspended animation or deep hibernation. But she was gone, dead for millennia, yet her body remained untouched by time. They had found our cosmic ancestor, or perhaps our cosmic successor. Working carefully, the crew managed to disconnect her from the ship's machinery and bring her body back to their lunar module. It was a moment of unprecedented triumph and terror. They had recovered an alien, but just as they were preparing to depart, everything went wrong. Alarms blared at mission control. The ancient ship, dormant for millions of years, was waking up. Faint energy signals began emanating from the structure, growing stronger by the second. It was as if their presence, their intrusion, had triggered a long-dormant system. A panicked voice from mission control crackled over the radio. "Get out of there! Abort. Leave it now." The mission was over. The astronauts scrambled back, leaving the ship and its secrets behind, taking with them only the silent, alien pilot. Leaked audio from the mission, which surfaced years later, captures the raw fear in an astronaut's voice. He describes seeing more chambers, more, but there are more, he says, his voice strained. Dozens more. This was a ship, a crew. What happened to them? Back on Earth, the mission was erased. All records were classified, destroyed, or hidden away. The astronauts were sworn to a lifetime of silence. Their incredible journey, officially known. The body of the Mona Lisa was allegedly taken to a top-secret facility, never to be seen by the public. For decades, the story of Apollo 20 was nothing more than a whisper, a fringe conspiracy theory. Then, in 2007, the story exploded. A man claiming to be William Rutledge, the commander of Apollo 20, began releasing what he said was authentic footage and photographs from the mission. The videos were grainy, the audio distorted, but they showed everything. The cigar-shaped craft on the moon, the mysterious symbols on the walls, and a brief, chilling glimpse of the alien pilot. NASA immediately and vehemently denied everything, labeling it an elaborate and well-crafted hoax. But the details in the so-called leaked footage were too specific. The orbital mechanics, the physics of the lunar module, the technical jargon used by the crew experts who analyzed it, said it was shockingly accurate. Could a hoaxa really get so many complex details right? And more importantly, could they fake the genuine, palpable fear in the astronaut's voice as he realized the magnitude of their discovery? The evidence was compelling, yet impossible to verify. Today, the official story remains unchanged. Apollo 17 was the last mission. But the unofficial whispers persist. They tell us we found proof that we weren't the first intelligent life in our own backyard. They say that whatever destroyed that ancient crew might still be out there, waiting. And maybe that's the real reason behind the silence. Think about this. Why? After decades of ignoring the moon, are so many nations, the US, China, Russia, suddenly in a frantic race to establish permanent bases on the far side, the exact region where the Apollo 20 crew supposedly found that ancient, silent ship? Are they going back to study it, to learn from its technology? Or are they preparing for something they know is coming? The official story is comfortable and safe, but the truth might be waiting for us, buried in a crater on the far side of the moon. What do you believe? Was Apoyo Benta Reale secret mission, or the most elaborate space hoax ever conceived? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy diving into mysteries that challenge what we know, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more explorations into the unknown. Thanks for watching.